Hi, I have a back eye, but I also have a kitten. This is Penny Crayon. She's fast asleep. I can't even look at you right now because she's so sleepy. She's so lovely though. So, the eye is horse related, as you might have guessed. Nothing particularly epic. I was just feeding horses in the dark and I walked into one of them. Horse was fine, by the way. Okay, so here's a question from Alison. Alison says, your cats are adorable. I agree. They're so cute, aren't they? Also, I have a question. When you personally made the transition from extreme undereating to feast eating, was it a very sudden switch one day? One day you got a bunch of food from the store and ate it and never looked back? Or did you ease yourself into it by adding food in gradually over a period of time? Either way, was there a particular event or thought process that caused you to consciously decide to make this change, or was it more of a survival mechanism driven process at first, like your body just could not starve anymore and you had to eat? Then the higher level thinking about it came later. Okay, so I was in a binge restrict cycle for a good 4 years. So my eating disorder started off bog standard restriction. And then after a while, 6 or 8 years maybe, I couldn't maintain that and I started to binge. And that happens to a lot of us. And so I started to binge, and then that's where a lot of people start to purge. I just couldn't do that. So I exercised and restricted all day. So I was in this cycle of exercising and restricting all day and then binging at night. And that went on for a really long time. And so when I was binging, I was eating tons of high calorie foods. Those foods, whilst I was binging, so it's not like I wasn't eating these scary foods, but I was able to eat them only in my binge sessions. And my binge sessions had to happen after 11 o'clock at night. And I couldn't, or I was terrified of eating any of those foods, the high calorie foods that I used to binge on during the day. And so when I switched into actually being in recovery and feast eating, what that looked like was me continuing to allow myself to eat all of those high calorie foods that I binged on at night, but also forcing myself to bring them into the daytime and to get eating them during the day, which my brain had a fuck ton of resistance to start with, because my brain would be like, you can't eat a Snickers bar now because you know you're going to want to eat it at 11 o'clock at night, and that means you'll have eaten 2 Snickers bars. And also, I just felt like I didn't want to eat it during the day until I got myself going, and then I did want to eat it during the day. And then when I started eating stuff during the day like that, couldn't stop, could I? And so that's sort of how it went for me. And in terms of, what was the second question there? Was it a conscious thought process that caused you to consciously decide to make this change? It was exhaustion. The exercise and the lower level movement. I had so many rules. Every year I found that every year I had an eating disorder, the rules got worse and the hoops that I had to jump through got worse, until I really felt that I was at the point where there was nothing of me left. I was just this machine that did my routines day in, day out, and then binged at the end of the day. And then I got up again in the morning and I did it all over again. It was like my life was Groundhog Day, and it was fucking exhausting. And so for me, I would say that there was a good 2 years towards the end of my eating disorder where I just almost hated everything about my life. Didn't have any friends, because no one can really be friends with somebody when all they do is move all day and don't eat anything. All I did was work, all I did was move. There was no joy. Well, the binges felt like joy, but there was just nothing. There was no me in my life. And I was so tired. And so, but it took 2 years of really feeling like that every day, feeling like I want to fucking stop. I want to fucking stop. I want to fucking stop. I hate going running. I hate this. I hate this. I used to pull my trainers on and cry while I was running, because that's how much I hated it. And it wasn't necessarily so much about the physical pain I was in. I was just so bored. And so it just took 2 years of that before I finally got brave enough one day and said, fuck this shit. And I just stopped all of it. I just stopped. And I just stuffed my face and I just did nothing. I watched the Sharp box set on VHS. I think it was VHS. Yeah, it was VHS. Because that's all I had. It was in my parents' closet and I just got that and I took it back to that and I watched the box set of Sharp with Sean Bean in it. And I just didn't do anything. And it was the most wonderful time of my life. Because all I had wanted to do was rest and eat. And I finally allowed myself to do that. And it was glorious. So that's my story. Hope that helps. Here she is. Penny Crayon is clocking off. She's saying night night. Night night, Penny Crayon.